Hello everyone and welcome back to A Bit Tactical. Today I'm going to be going over the strategy ploys for the Phobos strike team, and just like with the last video and how I'm going to be doing it in the future, if you want to know how the rules work, basically a rules read is going to be at the end of the video in this timestamp, okay, because I haven't done it yet, or you can go watch the quick guide, but it's going to be at the end of the video. But for now, I'm just going to dive right into it, the strategies, the tips, the pairings, how these strategy ploys work for you, and how you can take advantage of them to the maximum effect. Enough with the preamble. Let's just get into it. Starting with guerrilla warfare, which is really, really good. It allows you basically to change from engage to conceal. You can also change from engage or conceal to engage, but I don't know why you would want to do that. If you could tell me the specific way in which you can use that, please do in the comment section below. However, for this is actually really good for a few operatives. Obviously for your incursor marksman and your veteran, the two main models that you're going to be doing a lot of damage with. For these two, it's obvious, right? If you're in a good position, you shoot twice, you go into conceal to keep yourself in safety. Or you move, shoot, go into conceal. Either way, it's a very good ploy for you to have. But there are two operatives that you may be surprised actually goes really well with, which is the Commsman and the Voxbreaker. Now, why is that? Well, for both of these models, you kind of want them to be safe and out of the way, right? You want your Commsman to stay alive so he can keep giving you that CP, and so he can give you that change in strategy ploys if you want to do that. And for your Voxbreaker, you want to have that 8-inch bubble somewhere, but you want to keep him safe. You don't really want to fight with him. You don't really want to shoot with him. You just want him to do his Auspex scan and keep it glowing. But it does feel kind of bad that you have two operatives, and if you bring both of them, you're definitely going to have two operatives that don't do anything other than their special ability. Now, though, this changes it. You could, with your Voxbreaker, do Auspex scan, shoot somebody, and then go change into conceal. Keep that safety with you. So you can do that also with the Commsman. Keep them in a nice safe position. Take a shot if you can take a shot, and then change back to conceal without any further problems. A really nice pairing that I think you should consider doing. And they shall know no fear. Basically, you don't suffer any penalties from being injured. Obviously, this can be really good, and the reason for that is that the Phobos strike team is the squishiest of the elite teams. 12 wounds, 3 up save still, but, compared to 14 wounds, 15 wounds, right? Some of those other teams have damage mitigation, which you don't. You don't have any damage mitigation. Because of that, you're going to be wounded a lot. You're going to be injured. It's not going to be uncommon for the end of Turning Point 2 or Turning Point 3 that you're going to have 2 to 3 models that are injured. So this is a really good ploy for them, just to counter that. The next two strategy ploys are something that you're really going to consider taking both of Turning Point 2 onwards, because they're just so good. Deadly shots, giving balance on every single shooting attack that you do. And then lethal assaults, which gives you lethal 5 and balance on your attacks, so long as you have charge. And if you didn't charge, then, you just get the balanced. Now, obviously with lethal assaults, it pairs up really, really well with the reavers. Pair that with stealth assaults, and you have a nasty combo. Now, with deadly shots, this goes with everybody. Everybody that shoots is really well, but it goes really, really well with the veteran. Remember, the veteran has a lot of special rules he can choose from. He only gets 2, and personally, what I like to go with is lethal 5 and rending, right? So technically, if you have a 5, you can automatically get another crit. It's really, really nice. But now, with deadly shots, you can add balanced on top of it. So instead of taking balance with the veteran, which you could just take lethal 5, rending, and now you're going to have balance on top of it. It's a really powerful ploy that you should always consider using. Really, Turning Point 2, since it's such an action-packed turning point, you're going to probably be using deadly shots and lethal assaults almost every single time. The hardest part of these ploys is the fact that they're all so good. Every single last one of them is super, super good, and you're going to want to be able to use them as much as possible. Now, obviously, you only have a certain amount of CP. If you just go, this is a CP heavy team, is the first thing you're going to notice, is that these ploys are so good and they're so powerful that you want to use all of them, probably turning point 2 onwards. So something I suggest doing is that for guerrilla warfare, for example, you can use that for free for the first turning point if you choose it as your scouting option, right? If you choose it to go instead of an extra piece of equipment or a dash, you can just use a strategy ploy for free. So if you do that, you get guerrilla warfare for the first turning point for free. You can then run around. You can take a shooting attack. You can go back into conceal, and it's just a really nice way to get a nice little shot for a little extra, without having to use any extra CP. All right, guys, that's it for this part of the video. Obviously, I'm going to go into the rules read right now, but for the experts, the expert operatives in the crowd, you don't need that, okay? I know you know these rules by heart. You don't even need me to explain anything. You're kind of him. I understand. I get it. So for you, this video is over. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. For the rest of you, okay, who don't know anything, and you can't read, it's okay. I can read for you. Starting out with guerrilla warfare. For 1 AP, you can change the order of your operative. Typically, you're going to be changing it from engage to conceal, and you cannot do this while within control range of an enemy operative. Pretty simple. And they shall know no fear is your next strategy ploy, and it's also pretty simple. Is an operative of yours injured? They no longer suffer any of the negative stats from being injured. Pretty cool, pretty awesome. Deadly shots. So long as you have not charged, use the reposition or the fallback action, you can have balanced on all of your shooting attacks. Very, very good. Do note that you can still commit these actions after the shooting attack. So you could shoot twice and then charge someone, reposition, do whatever you want, but you cannot do it beforehand. Or the enemy operative you're shooting cannot be in cover. So if your enemy operative you are shooting is not in cover, then you get this rule. You get balanced on your shooting attack. However, if they are in cover, but you haven't performed the charge, reposition, or fallback action, then you can, again, use balanced. And take note, you can dash. So you could dash, shoot, then do whatever else you want. Then we move on to lethal assaults, which has 2 parts to it. Number 1, if you are ever in a position where you are fighting, you get the balanced weapon rule for your melee weapons. Very cool. However, if you have performed a charge during this activation, you also get the lethal 5 and balanced, which is just super good. There is really no caveats to this. It lets you just do that. So a really good ploy. Do note, however, that retaliating, which is when somebody has charged you and is fighting you, is different from fighting. So if you have been charged, you do not get lethal 5 or balance, because this is for fighting, not retaliating. Just so you know. I know that's a distinction that might not make sense to some people, but that there is a distinction between those 3 actions. Right? Because you could be fighting without having charged somebody, and you could be retaliating, which does not mean you are fighting or charging someone. Again, a little bit confusing, but it's what kind of makes Killteam really, really cool. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, and leave a comment down below if any of this has ever helped you. All right. Oh, also, what your favorite team is. Okay? I need to know which teams I'm going to cover next. It's kind of stupid to put this at the end of the video, because there's going to be like one person who watches to the end right here. All right. I'll see you guys later.